Come see this thing 1564, Silent Protests, Cinci Brawl, Blocks Liberating Answers. This is a series where I summarize rantatonne posts made up of at least 3 things I've read, seen, or heard. First question, does the world need to listen to the Dark Continent protests? In this section, I feature a video by Lynn Ngugi that's highlighting the Saba Saba protests here in Nairobi, Kenya, and that was on July 7th. Saba Saba is Swahili for 7-7. And that was the 35th anniversary of some nationwide protests that occurred in 1990. This year, Nairobi was shut down. I've seen this happen in other places where, women are going to protest and show you that the world doesn't have women. Or I've heard some black people in America be like, the blacks are going to stop showing up to work so you can appreciate black people. And I think some people might know enough, whether it's subconscious or not, to not go through this. Because what if you actually just don't show up and the world just keeps going? In fact, what if things actually get better when you're not there? Shutting things down like this is a very effective form of peaceful protest, which I think is preferable to what was happening before with the maandamano, because when you have those maandamanos, you have to have people in the street, then the government and other interested powers can sneak little ruffians in there that will cause issues. And then once those people cause issues, the rest of the power system can say, look, those people that's how the whole thing is. These people loot, these people break things. And then they disregard what's being said by the other people. So you can check out the video to see how Nairobi looks deserted like some post-apocalyptic movie or something. Lynn Ngugi has 1.5 billion viewers. There's other people covering this, but you probably haven't seen this actual footage. Some other things due to happenstances of birth will get more play. Like some of you might have seen this sort of hefty woman standing in front of this military truck, I think in the ICE protest that y'all might have forgotten about because it's been deluged by all the things going on in the TV theater of Trump 47 season 1 that's going on. But somebody posted this and said, a photo of a courageous woman facing down a military vehicle in ICE's raids on California farm is being hailed as America's Tiananmen Square moment. It being current timeline and this being a first world protest, I can actually imagine some people saying this, even though in my estimation, Tiananmen Square was this a teensy wincy bit more serious and dangerous for the people involved than this woman standing out there who I think was rather confident she would be home having a nice meal by that night. Next question, why people rioting in the streets when? In this section, I highlight the Cincinnati Brawl that some of y'all might have seen. There's a video there covered so you can see it there. First, if you initiate violence, you're putting yourself at the mercy of the responder's restraint. And if you are responding to violence, it should be within a reasonable standard. But as usual, the reaction to X is more interesting than the X. So I contrast how people are reacting to this and just think if the racial dynamics were switched, what the reaction would be. And then I also need to remind you that even though you see a lot of black people beating up other people, if you're actually physically attacking the United States of America, chances are it's going to be a white person doing it. And don't you dare bring up that per capita appeal to the white construct of mathematics. Last question, can libertarianism provide answers for a post-state world? In this section, I feature Walter Block speaking to Tom Woods answering different libertarian questions, and it was kind of interesting for me to see which ones I agreed with and not. He talks about blackmail, prostitution, space capitalism, bridges and roads, land reform, more roads. Without the state, who will build the roads? Check it out for a practical example of how that could happen, but he also brings up something that's kind of controversial on voluntary slavery, with the example that if your child is deathly ill, but enslaving yourself to someone could end up healing them, that's a thing that should be legal. But isn't that more like indentured servitude?